This video demonstrates how to remove the cutting deck and sharpen the mower blades. First thing we want to do is make sure the parking brake is engaged and that the PTO flywheel is off. Next thing we're going to do is lower the deck all the way down. Another thing I like to do for safety's sake is make sure the spark plugs are disconnected. So there's one spark plug, and then we'll go around to the other side. And we'll move the second spark plug wire. There we go. Now we're going to need to remove the belt from around the PTO flywheel. So in front of the deck, up underneath the motor, there's going to be a screw. It takes a 1/2-inch wrench. I don't know if you can see that. We're going to remove that screw, and then we're going to take off this red bracket right here. All right, so you can see I removed the screw now. It's just a self-tapping screw. All right, now I'm going to remove this red rod and make sure you know what hole the other side is going into. It just kind of sticks into that hole. So you just want to make sure you got it in the correct one. On mine it looks like it's the last hole on that side. It just pops off real easy. Now we're going to remove the belt from the flywheel. All right, we've moved over to the left side of the tractor. I'm looking at it front on. And on the back side of the deck, you'll see this bow tie pin. We're going to remove that. And probably won't even need pliers. Just pop right out there. All right, now we're back on the right side, and again on the back of the cutting deck, you see this bow tie pin. We want to remove that. That pin was a little more stubborn. I couldn't do it by hand. I used a pair of pliers and pulled it out. All right, after you pulled those pins out, pull this bar, push it towards the center, so the deck will drop down completely on both sides. Now we're going to lift the deck arms out of the way. All right, now on the front of the deck, we're going to remove this bow tie, and then we're going to pull this bar out. All right, some bars out, bow ties out. We'll put the bow tie up here. Now I'm going to try and slide the deck to the left side of the tractor so I can get to that last pin that I need to pull out. All right, so I shifted the deck over to the left a little bit. Now I've got access to this final pin that I need to pull out. So I'll go ahead and remove that, and then we'll be able to pull the deck out all the way. All right, now that I've got this pin out, the last thing I'm going to try and do is remove. Okay, so to get this wire disengaged, I had to pull the whole deck towards the rear a little bit, remove this, and then I was able to remove the spring from this bracket in here. Here's the bracket it came from, and it's just got a little hook on the end of the spring that fits right into that, so we're good. All right, now as you can see, since I had everything disconnected, I was able to pull the cutting deck off. And I'm just gonna clean up the mess on there. Got a lot of leaves and grass. I'll do that first, and then I'm gonna turn it over and remove the blades and sharpen them. All right, so I cleaned off the top deck, and I found a 15/16 socket that fits perfectly on the nuts for the blades. And I also grabbed this piece of wood in here to keep the blades from turning when I'm trying to remove the bolt that's holding them on. I use a shorter piece of wood, and I was able to loosen the nut that's on top. So I'll just unscrew that nut on the first blade. It's like these blades have a 6-point star system on them. So So I went ahead and removed the second blade. The first one was pretty beat up. So is the second one. I don't know if you can see. That's the cutting edge, man. I've obviously hit some things with this. You can see how badly beat up that blade is. I'm gonna go ahead and sharpen these the best I can and put these back on. All right, so now I'm set up to sharpen these mower blades using this grinding wheel. I'm not gonna film this while I do this, just because I can't hold the camera while sharpening. The main thing you wanna do is make sure you take the same amount of weight or metal off of each side so that the blades are still evenly distributed as far as their weight. Now you can see I've sharpened the blades as best I can. These, like I said before, these blades are pretty beat up. I'm hoping maybe they'll get me through next year, but if not, I'm going to go ahead and order another set just so I can put those on next time I pull the deck off. So I put the blades back on the mower deck. I just made sure when I put them on there that they lined up with the star pattern. And I'll just go ahead and tighten down the bolt as best I can by hand for both blades. Now I'll get my wood blocks in and I'll tighten it. So I used the torque wrench to tighten it down as hard as I could. I had this block of wood in here so the blades wouldn't turn on me while I was torquing on it. Now I'm basically just gonna flip the deck back over and go in reverse in the process that we used to take it off. So I got the deck flipped over, got to push back under the tractor. First thing I'm gonna do is hook up the spring to this little bracket it was attached to. Alright, so after doing that spring over here, I reinstalled this on this bracket, and now I'm going to have to put one of those clips. There's a little hole there. I'm going to put a clip through there. So now I've got my clip on. I can go to the next step. And with that next step, I'm going to line up the deck under the mower so that I can get these brackets here back on both sides. Before I hook those back brackets back up, I need to put this one back up here and then put the S-clip in it right here. The back ones, I lowered the deck lever all the way down again so that they were closer to the holes here. So I put this black bar on here first. Now I'm going to lift the deck up so this will go in this hole. Alright, so now you can see I put this clip back on. So this rod went through this black bracket and then through the red one, and then I just put the clip on, and I did the same thing on the other side. So next we're going to put the belt back on the flywheel. Since everything's lowered down real low, it goes on there pretty easy. And I'm just kind of double checking to make sure that the belt is on all the wheels down straight underneath where your foot rests. It looks like everything's lined up pretty good there. Alright, so now we're going to put this bracket back on. You got to remember which hole this end came out of. You got to put that in the right hole. And on this end, it has that self-tapping screw. It's got a 1/2 inch bolt on it, so we'll use the socket set to put that back up. Alright, now you can see that I got this bracket back on. It's in kind of that first hole, like where it was at when I took it off. And I put the self-tapping screw back in using the socket set, 1/2 inch socket. It had a little extension on there. It's pretty easy. So now my blades are sharpened, the deck's back on, and it's ready to go mow. Hope this helped. Take care.